On Christmas Day, Dad proudly declared, "We're selling the family business, you'll get nothing." My siblings cheered like vultures circling a feast while I stayed silent. Then I asked, calm but sharp, "Dad, who's the buyer?" He smirked. "Saul Enterprises. 35 million on the table." That's when I leaned in, smiled, and dropped the bomb. "Dad, I am Saul Enterprises." The entire room froze, their holiday joy turning to stunned silence. "Seriously, Dad, 35 million just like that?" My sister's voice cracked, sharp and frantic, like broken glass cutting the quiet. Dad slammed his glass on the counter. "I told you, it's done." The crash made my ears ring. The Christmas lights flickered, half of them burnt out. A cold draft slid through the cracked window. Mom sat frozen on the sofa, hands over her mouth, her eyes wet but silent. My siblings laughed, the sound harsh and empty, echoing around the room. I stayed still, feeling my chest tighten, each heartbeat loud in the silence. "David, don't tell me you're hoping for a slice of this too," my brother sneered, leaning back in his chair, arms crossed. I didn't answer. Then Dad's smirk faltered, replaced with a twitch of annoyance. "You never cared about this family business anyway?" I leaned forward, voice calm but sharp. "Who's the buyer?" The room froze. Every laugh, every smile, every movement stopped midair. Dad's face went pale for the first time in years. "Saul Enterprises. 35 million on the table." I let the words sink, soft but heavy. "Dad. I am Saul Enterprises." The laughter died. Their faces froze, eyes wide, jaws tight. A tense silence filled the air, thick as smoke. Not one of them moved. Not a single breath broke the quiet, until my mother's hand trembled on her lap. "I am David, 26. The silent one. Invisible. Forgotten. Ignored. I've spent years letting my family dictate my worth, their words like chains around my chest. I've been used, blamed, overlooked. But silence isn't weakness. Silence is patience. And tonight, patience ends. I watched them, carefully, quietly, letting their shock twist in the air. Shock, confusion, maybe even fear. And yet I remained calm. I've always known things they tried to hide from me. Their whispers, their small betrayals, the quiet manipulations behind smiles. I have kept records, notes, memories, and every lie they told themselves. And tonight, the truth is no longer mine alone. I smiled faintly, not triumphantly, not cruelly, just a calm, controlled smile. They didn't know what was coming, but I did. And I had been waiting a long time. Family members introduced, each of them emerged like a snapshot captured in motion. Mom, Lillian, 50. Small, delicate, clutching tissues like a shield. Her eyes were wide, haunted, a little lost, but filled with love she couldn't show. Dad, Jonathan, 55. Booming voice, commanding, a prideful presence that could fill any room. But tonight, uncertainty shadowed him. Sister, Marcy, 28. Sharp-tongued, restless, needing to be first in everything. Her impatience made her twitch, hands clenching every few seconds. Brother, Eric, 31. Smug, calculating, sizing the room like a chessboard. Always looking for advantage, always calculating the next move. They moved around the room, each like a character in their own drama. Marcy interrupted, her words slicing the air. Dad waved me away, dismissive. Mom cried silently. Eric leaned in, watching me like a hawk. None of them knew how much I had seen. None of them realized how long I had waited. But I knew everything, and every second, every twitch, every glance, I cataloged it. Marcy's voice broke the tension. "You never cared about this family." "I've always cared," I said quietly, my voice steady. "Even when I wasn't allowed to be seen. Even when you ignored me." Eric scoffed. "You? Seen? Don't make me laugh." I didn't flinch. My mind replayed years of overheard conversations, hidden bank statements, whispered secrets. I knew what they were hiding. I knew every manipulation, every lie. You really think silence keeps you safe? Eric snapped. You think hiding behind quiet makes you important? I stepped closer, calm, eyes steady. I've seen this before. They've always played this game. Eric's lip twitched. A slip. He whispered to himself, loud enough for me to hear. Dad, maybe we should have told David about the inheritance years ago. A crack appeared in their facade. A hint at something bigger, a truth they hadn't wanted revealed. And I smiled, letting the silence grow. The room boiled over. Marcy accused Eric of favoritism. Dad shouted, a thunderous bark filling the room. Mom sobbed quietly, rocking back and forth. My siblings' anger was a storm, whipping around me, and I was the eye. Finally, I spoke. Soft, firm, quiet, but like a hammer. Stop. This isn't just about money. This is about everything you've ignored, including me. Every pair of eyes turned to me. Silence stretched, heavier than their shouting. For once, my calm held power. They shifted, unease spreading, unsure how to react to the quiet storm in the room. Then Marcy's face twisted in confusion. You knew? I nodded slightly, letting my stillness speak louder than any words could. I remember my 20th birthday. Everyone celebrated Marcy's promotion instead. The lights were bright, the room full of laughter, but none of it was for me. I had worked nights, weeks, saving the family's failing accounts. I had sacrificed sleep, health, and hope. Dad didn't even glance at me. Mom smiled politely, distracted. My siblings ignored me. I stayed late, cleaned the dishes, erased mistakes no one else noticed. The smell of burnt coffee, the empty fridge, the hum of the fluorescent lights, it all burned into my memory. And I realized someone had always known how much I suffered. But no one ever acted. No one ever cared. Except me. And that's when I learned silence could be a weapon. The final secret fell out sharp and bright. Eric, the loan you claimed you didn't take? I have the receipts. The family business wasn't sold because of you. It was because you were draining it. Every cent, every step. You lied to protect yourself. Eric's face went pale. Marcy sobbed uncontrollably. Dad slammed his hand on the wall, shaking. Mom covered her face. I had known. I had planned. I had waited. Every word, every document, every moment had led to this. And now, they had nowhere to hide. I watched their faces twist from anger to shock to fear. And I understood something then. Power wasn't about money. It was about timing. Chaos erupted. Glass shattered. Voices rose, overlapping, accusing, pleading, crying. Marcy screamed at Dad. Mom tried to console, trembling. Eric stood frozen, guilt heavy on his shoulders. I stepped forward, calm, controlled, immovable. I gave you all my silence. Tonight, I give you the truth. The room froze again. Then a whisper. Mom's voice. David, maybe this is what we needed. I realized that some alliances weren't obvious. Some truths were slow to surface, and tonight we had reached the breaking point. I walked toward the door. Not in anger, not in spite, but in quiet victory. They watched me go. Shame, fear, lingering love, all tangled on their faces. I paused at the threshold. They'll never see me the same again, and I don't need them to. Freedom didn't taste sweet yet. It was sharp, raw, bitter, and it was mine. For the first time, I didn't feel the weight of their expectations, their greed, their disappointments pressing on me. I stepped out into the cold night, breathing in the air like it was new. Weeks later, life felt lighter, almost fragile. Dad called once, voice awkward, fumbling apologies. Marcy avoided me. Eric barely looked my way. Mom sent a card, small, handwritten, trembling letters. I smiled at the memory of that night. Their shocked faces, frozen, raw. Revenge had been complete, but it was tempered by truth, fairness, and restraint. For the first time, I don't carry their weight anymore, I whispered, standing in the quiet of my own apartment. Peace was fragile, but it was earned. And the future. Maybe it was mine to write, without the chains of the past holding me down. I turned to the camera, my voice calm but heavy. If you were in my place, would you forgive, or would you walk away forever? Tell me in the comments. Your voice matters here. Subscribe for more stories like this. Like if you felt my pain, my anger, my freedom. Comment your thoughts. Let's build a space where honesty, truth, and real emotions matter, where people can share, relate, and maybe even heal together. And just like that, my story became more than my silence. It became a conversation, a mirror, a shared heartbeat, a reminder that the truth is heavier than lies, but freedom comes when it's finally spoken.